Hello, my little ghouls and goblins. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay, and guys, today I have a very lovely announcement. I will be participating in Summerween, the readathon. I am so very excited. Excited doesn't even capture how I feel for the idea that summer is ending and fall is on the horizon, guys. I am a spooky biz through and through, and I am ready to welcome the spooky season with an end of summer horror readathon. So this readathon, of course, is named Summerween, and it is hosted by Oliviareadsalatte and Gabby Reads, and I will link their announcement videos in the caption below so you can get all the information, all the prompts. This is going to be starting next week. I believe August 24th is the first day, and I wanted to go ahead and share my TBR. Now, if y'all have been with me for a little bit, you know that TBRs are not my strong suit. I do not enjoy sticking to a plan, at least when it comes to reading. I am such a mood reader that it is very hard for me to just put things in a row neatly, so to speak. I like to read where the wind takes me, but I have created a TBR and I'm here to discuss it with you with very excited feelings. So, the first book that I want to read during this amazing readathon is, of course, going to have to be a Stephen King book, and I picked Salem's Lot. Guys, I have been chasing after this book for a long time, and now that sounds really silly because it's a pretty popular book. You can find it in almost any bookstore, any online store, but I've just never gotten around to it. And this is so interesting to me because my mother has actually talked about Salem's Lot since I was very little. She is like the OG horror fan in my family. She's the one that got me into horror movies, horror novels. She's the first one who ever told me about Stephen King. And I am ready to join the ranks of horror-loving women in my family by reading this. So if you don't know about Salem's Lot, this is about a young author who returns to a town named Jerusalem's Lot, hence Salem's Lot. And he has hopes of living in this like spooky house that is surrounded by interesting and dark lore. And he wants to go live there so that he can get some inspiration for his newest book. And so, you know, things are chugging along and suddenly two kids go missing. And that's where the story is supposed to pop off, and that there are sinister forces at work. And I am very excited to read about this because I know that this is about vampires, and I know it's about scary vampires, not sparkly vampires. No hate to Twilight, but I'm ready for some scary vampires. So excited. The next book I included in my TBR is sort of a mercy read, in the sense that I'm trying to have mercy on myself. I have a lot of longer books on this TBR, and this book is a shorter book. So this is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. Now, I am very torn because there's another book by Stephen Graham Jones. I think it's like The Last Good Indian or something like that. Gosh, I can't remember. But I want to either read that or this one. Already breaking my TBR. Like, anyway. So this is called Night of the Mannequins, and it is about a man who is, well, I think it's a young boy. I think so. It talks about summer, and I always think that people who talk about summer are very young, because when you're an adult, like, you don't get summer break, so whatever. Anyway, he basically wants one last scare to wind the summer down. So he brings a mannequin to a movie theater, and then it suddenly comes alive and kills people. So he has to be the hero. He wants to save the day, and he decides that he's going to kill whoever and whoever it takes, really, to stop this mannequin. Super interesting. It is very short, as you can see. So this is probably a good like afternoon read. I could probably like knock that out real fast. So we'll see. I'm very excited. Stephen Graham Jones has a lot of hype around his name recently in the horror community, so yeah. Okay, the next book I'm probably the most excited about this book. Aside from Salem's Lot, I have Little Heaven by Nick Cutter. Guys, if you know anything, recently I have become the largest Nick Cutter fan. If anyone even like hints at needing a horror movie or horror book recommendation, I am practically tripping over myself, screaming, yelling from the rooftops, The Troop by Nick Cutter. Everyone needs to read The Troop by Nick Cutter. That book blew me away. It scared me, it freaked me out. I was paranoid for days about bugs, okay? But I had to go ahead and get like all of his other books. I've only ordered 2. One of them is this, but I'm ready. I'm ready to collect his books. So I got this in the mail recently and I'm very excited it's here in time for this readathon. So this is Little Heaven, and this is about a group of hired mercenaries, and they are supposed to go into this town called Little Heaven. I think it's a town, or it's like a compound. This woman believes that her young nephew is being held in Little Heaven against his will at the hands of a religious cult. Well, the mercenaries, they go into the town and suddenly all exits are blocked and things just start happening. The sinister forces are just like moving in on them, and they just have to figure out how to survive and endure their time in Little Heaven. And I am very, very excited to read this. And she's a thick one, okay? But I have a feeling it will go very quickly and I will probably be in tears. I will be so scared, because if I've known anything about Nick Cutter, who apparently, actually, this is a pseudonym, his real name is Craig Davidson, I can't talk because I'm so excited about this readathon. Like, that's where I am mentally. Like, if I'm tripping over my words, it's because I literally cannot contain myself over this spooky readathon. But yeah, Craig Davidson, and apparently everything about his writing is supposed to be brutal and excellent and terrifying, and I read a review somewhere that like one of his books is not a book to enjoy and savor, it's to endure and survive. Hello, that's me, that's all me. I want that. That's a vibe, okay? So I'm very excited to read this. Okay, the next book is another book that I have been wanting to read for a while. I don't know why I keep putting it off. And this is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Guys, first of all, look at this cover. This cover is amazing. It's meant to look like vintage and beaten down, but it's actually a pretty new book. So Grady Hendrix, I've only read his book, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Such a long name, but it is the most excellent book. I read it earlier this year when it first came out, and that was another one that just like blew my mind. It really started me on this like avalanche of horror reading. It was so good, and I don't expect any less from My Best Friend's Exorcism. There's a lot of hype around this book too. Everyone seems to love it. So basically, the main protagonists are Abby and Gretchen, and they have been friends since they were children. And what happens is they go skinny dipping, and when they come out, Gretchen is sort of like another person. She's irritable and angry and just completely different. And Abby is trying to figure out how to help her. And they have to figure out if their friendship can stand against the devil himself. I am so excited. I'm excited because, first of all, I love things about exorcism. I love anything about the devil. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but yeah, that's me. I'm so excited. The next book I actually got in a Nightworms package, and that is a monthly horror book subscription box, and I've been enjoying the boxes so far, but I was really excited when I got this book, and this is Mexican Gothic. Guys, I'm very excited. And this is by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I'm so interested in this book because it's supposed to be very atmospheric and confusing and strange, and it's a horror novel, so you know, I'm into that. So this is about a girl named, now I'm gonna butcher this, Noemi Taboada. I don't know. That's the main girl's name. She gets a letter from her cousin, who is a newlywed, and so at the summons of her cousin, she goes. to this distant house in the country where her cousin now resides with her new husband and his father. And when she gets there, the house is very old and broody, and it's just sort of like an atmosphere that sucks you in, apparently. And suddenly the house is starting to sort of like seep into her dreams and give her nightmares, and she's uncovering stories of violence and terror, and she is just trying to figure out if she can survive her stay in this house. I've heard that this is very atmospheric and very interesting. I do get the feeling that it's probably a slow burn, which I'm into. I don't have any problems with slow burn as long as the payoff is good, and I'm really thinking that this is going to be a good way to sort of like sink myself into the spooky mood. I mean, all these books will be, but I'm particularly interested in how this will read. So those are my 5 books that I plan to read for this Summerween readathon. How cute is that name? It's great. Like I said earlier, I do reserve the right to change my mind. There are like 16 other like horror novels that I want to read, and the recommendations keep pouring in, and I just want to read all of them. But I did pick these 5 because there were 5 prompts in the Summerween readathon announcement. And while I'm not following any of those prompts because it's hard enough for me to follow a TBR, I definitely wanted to at least have as many books as there were prompts, and I am so excited. I will be creating vlogs for this readathon, so look out for that. And otherwise, guys, I am the happiest spooky bitch alive right now. Like, come on, I'm ready to be done with summer and ready for autumn, ready for October and some spooks and some books. guys, it's my season, it's coming up. Okay, I'm leaving now. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel, lets me know what you like, and hit that notification bell, that subscribe button, so you always know when I've got good things coming to you. Bye, y'all.